The biggest financial mistake people under 30 are making right now isn't losing money. It's thinking that making money fast is the same as building wealth. We are living in an era where you can bet on whether the Fed will raise rates, whether a pop star will win a Grammy, and whether a meme coin called Doge Father Elon coin will 10x by Tuesday, and an entire generation is treating that like a retirement plan. Let's talk about prediction markets for a second, because this is where things get genuinely wild. These platforms let you wager real money on real-world events, interest rate decisions, election outcomes, award shows, and they are so aggressively marketed to Gen Z that Australia had to classify them as illegal gambling just to protect people from themselves. Think about that. An entire country looked at what we were calling investing and said, no, legally, that is a casino. Now, to be fair, the thrill is completely understandable. Dopamine does not care about your retirement account, and neither does a platform designed by behavioral psychologists who studied slot machines. But here is the quiet, uncomfortable truth that nobody is posting on their finance TikTok. The house always has an edge. And in prediction markets, you are the house's favorite customer. The irony is that the people most confident they can outsmart the market are statistically the ones losing the most money to it. So let's zoom out and talk about the actual engine of generational wealth, which is so boring it almost feels like a punishment. Compound interest is essentially your money-making friends, and those friends making more friends, and so on for decades, until suddenly you have an army of little dollar soldiers working for you while you sleep. A well-diversified ETF portfolio that's an exchange-traded fund, essentially a basket of stocks, has historically doubled in value roughly every 7 years, which means a 22-year-old who invests $10,000 today could be sitting on over $80,000 by retirement without touching it once. ETFs also solve a problem that trips up almost every new investor, which is the terrifying question of, but what do I pick? Instead of betting your future on whether one company is going to survive the next decade, you buy a slice of an entire sector, AI, clean energy, global markets, and you let diversification do the heavy lifting. You are not trying to find the next Amazon. You are buying a ticket that includes Amazon and everything around it and everything that might replace it. Now, here is the one that makes young people's eyes glaze over faster than a tax form superannuation. It is invisible, it is automatic, and for exactly those reasons, most people under 30 have genuinely no idea how much power they are sitting on. Superannuation contributions grow in a lower tax environment, which means the government is essentially giving you a discount on building wealth and consolidating multiple super funds. So you are not quietly hemorrhaging fees across 3 accounts you forgot you opened, is one of the highest return, lowest effort moves you can make this year. And while we are on the subject of boring but brilliant, let's talk about the humble high interest savings account, not as a wealth building machine, but as a foundation. If you are saving for a home deposit or a short-term goal, keeping that money liquid and earning interest beats, letting it sit dead in a checking account, and it beats putting it in volatile assets where a bad week could wipe out 6 months of savings right before you need it. Think of it as your financial base camp before you attempt the summit. Here is where it gets genuinely interesting though, because boring and conventional do not have to mean zero fun. Vintage Pokemon cards, yes, the ones you had as a kid, have outperformed the S&P 500 in certain windows. And the same goes for rare watches, original artwork, and select Yu-Gi-Oh cards that collectors treat like blue chip stocks. If you are already passionate about a hobby, the question worth asking is whether any corner of that hobby has genuine scarcity, genuine demand, and a track record of appreciation, because passion plus asset value is a combination most financial advisors never even mention. Now, let's address the crypto elephant in the room, because roughly 70% of young people who describe themselves as financially confident are holding cryptocurrency. And that confidence is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Crypto can be part of a portfolio, but when it becomes the portfolio, you are not investing, you are speculating. And those are 2 fundamentally different games with 2 fundamentally different outcomes. Here's the part that should make everyone pause. Silver, actual, physical, ancient, unglamorous silver has outperformed Bitcoin over the past year, which is either deeply humbling or deeply funny, depending on your position. The historical pattern here is not subtle if you are willing to look at it honestly. Every decade has its version of the thing that is definitely going to make everyone rich. Tulips, .com stocks, real estate in 2007, NFTs, prediction markets. And every cycle has the same two groups: the people who got in early and got out, and the people who got in late and got emotional. The lesson is not to avoid new assets entirely. The lesson is to never let conviction replace strategy and never let excitement replace position sizing. Which brings us to the most unsexy sentence in all of personal finance: process beats prediction every single time. Automating a monthly contribution to an ETF, maxing out your tax-advantaged accounts, keeping your emergency fund intact, and reviewing your allocation once a year is not a story anyone is making a YouTube video about, but it is the actual blueprint that quietly makes people wealthy. Discipline without drama is the edge most people refuse to use because it does not feel like winning fast enough. The psychological trap here is real and worth naming directly. When your friend posts their crypto gains, your brain registers that as a threat to your status. And suddenly your boring ETF strategy feels like you are losing a race you did not even sign up for. But what your friend is not posting is the months where it went sideways, or the tax implications, or the fact that they have no exit strategy and you need to learn to read the full sentence, not just the highlighted part. The philosophical bottom line is this: wealth is not built in moments of brilliance. It is built in years of consistency. Size your positions so that no single loss can knock you out of the game. Diversify so that no single sector can ruin your decade. And let time do the work that most people are desperately trying to shortcut. Whether markets go up, down, or sideways in the next 12 months matters far less than whether you are still in the game 12 years from now. We're not here to tell you that you will definitely win. Nobody can promise you that. But we can tell you that the people who come out ahead are almost never the ones who made the most dramatic bets. They're the ones who stayed rational, stayed consistent, and never confused entertainment with strategy. And if any of this has you thinking about your next move, whether that's real estate investing, home contracting, work, or finding the right lenders to get started, check out our links in the description below.